All right, and the last of the easy logical fallacies is the slippery slope. A slippery slope is kind of like what it sounds. You take one misstep and you're going to slip down a large slope and have disastrous consequences. Basically, if we let A happen, then B will happen and C will happen, and it'll get worse and worse and worse, so let's please not do A. If we allow Billary to become president, Russia will be happy, and if Russia's not happy, then who knows? We could end up in World War III. This is a stretch. There are a lot of pieces to this, and you're saying that one thing will lead to another, and each of those things is speculation. So you're going to have to prove that Russia won't be happy with some stats, and you'll have to prove that that is very likely to lead to World War III somehow. And that's your responsibility to figure out. But until you've done that, this is all just speculation. A Trump presidency, well, that'll lead to hate crimes. And hate crimes will lead to racist demonstrations. And racist demonstrations will lead to the setting back of civil rights legislation and progress. We'll go back 50 years, I bet. This is a slippery slope as well. There are a lot of claims being made about what will happen, but unfortunately each of those is speculation. And so the argument really is kind of silly until you've been able to prove those steps are likely to happen, or very likely to happen by citing something, looking at stats. It just comes across as speculation. And by the way, you could just as easily speculate that something different would happen and have just as much validity, which is one way to see that it's not valid. All right, an image of slippery slope that might help is this one. So the idea is something's going to happen, and there are actually a number of possible outcomes that could happen, but you're saying that this one is the one that will happen, right? And then you're saying that this other thing that will happen, even though there are lots of things that could happen after that, you're saying, no, I know it's going to be this one, and so on. You're saying, I know exactly which way it's going to go. But if you're going to make that claim, you've got to prove that that path is more likely than these paths. If we allow gay people to get married, what's to stop them from marrying animals? That's what's going to happen next. And if we allow them to marry animals, well, what's to stop them from wanting to marry inanimate objects, rocks and stuff? I mean, at what point are we going to draw a limit? So this is a fallacy, no question. This is illogical. You have not shown that the likelihood of that path is high or higher than these other paths. And that's your responsibility to do before having a serious claim. You could just as easily speculate that, this would lead to a perfect society if we allow gay people to get married, because that's another one of the paths. And one is, not necessarily more likely than the other until you've proven that. Okay. So we've gone over the 5 easy ones. And again, that's just my opinion about what's easy and what's not. You may have a different opinion. But the 5 that we covered were ad hominem and tu quoque, bandwagon or ad populum, appeal to ignorance and a burden of proof, hasty generalization, and then we just covered slippery slope. In the next videos, we'll go over the intermediate ones, which are post hoc ergo propter hoc, false dichotomy, red herring, and anecdotal evidence. All right, thanks.